I mean, I left the house later than what I had said.
Did you leave the house with your brother Cody looking like that? Or did you leave the house with your father looking like that? Or your mother? Is that how you left your family?
Welcome back to Behind Mask. In a quiet suburban home in Chuluota, Florida, lived the Amato family. A respected father, a caring mother, 3 sons. From the outside, perhaps a picture of American life, but behind the closed doors of one son's room, and deep within the glowing abyss of the internet, a secret obsession was festering. An obsession with a woman he'd never met. An obsession that would cost him everything, and cost his family, their lives. This is the chilling story of Grant Amato, a young man who, prosecutors argued, became so consumed by a fantasy relationship with a Bulgarian webcam model that he stole over $200,000 from his family to fuel it, and when they tried to pull him back from the brink, he allegedly executed them. Mother, father, brother. Was this a loving son pushed to a desperate act by an online siren? Or was it the cold calculation of an entitled mind, unmasked, only after an unimaginable familicide? Tonight, we tear away the digital veil. The Amato family: Chad, 59, a pharmacist; Margaret, 61, a homemaker; and their adult sons, Cody, 31, and Grant, 29, lived in a comfortable home in Chuluota, Florida. A third son, Jason, lived independently. Both Cody and Grant had pursued careers in nursing, with Cody working as a nurse anaesthetist. Grant had also been a nurse, but had recently lost his job. To many, they were a normal family, but Grant Amato was living a profound double life, a life increasingly dominated by a persona hidden behind a computer screen. The mask he wore for his family was crumbling under the weight of a secret that was draining them financially and emotionally. Grant Amato's secret world revolved around a Bulgarian webcam model known online as Silvie. Silvie Venslava. This wasn't a casual flirtation. Grant became utterly consumed. He spent hours, days, interacting with her, showering her, with gifts and money that wasn't his. He believed they were in a genuine, exclusive, romantic relationship. He dreamed of her coming to live with him. He created an elaborate fantasy around this online connection, a fantasy that, in his mind, was more real, more vital than anything in his actual life. But this fantasy had a price, a very real price. Over many months, Grant Amato systematically stole from his family to fund his relationship with Silvie. Investigators later uncovered he had pilfered over $200,000, taking out loans in his father's name, stealing firearms from his brother Cody to sell, draining their bank accounts. His family trusted him. He betrayed that trust, a piece at a time, to feed an obsession with a woman on a screen, an ocean away. His life spiraled. He lost his job as a nurse. He became increasingly isolated. His entire existence seemingly dedicated to this online mirage, this mask of love he so desperately wanted to believe in. In late 2018, the Amato family discovered the full, devastating extent of Grant's theft and his all-consuming obsession with Silvie. Imagine their shock, their horror. They staged an intervention. They gave Grant an ultimatum, a lifeline, to pull him back from the digital abyss. Complete a 60-day residential program for internet and sex addiction. Cease all contact with Silvie and any other online personas. Get a job and contribute to repaying the money he stole. If he refused or failed to comply, he would be kicked out of the family home, cut off completely. The mask of the supportive family was now one of stern, desperate love. Grant initially agreed. He went to the rehab facility in Fort Lauderdale in December 2018. But the pull of his fantasy world was too strong. He was reportedly kicked out of the program early or chose to leave after just a few weeks, allegedly for using his phone, likely to try and contact Silvie or engage in online activities against the rules. He returned home in January 2019, defiant. The ultimatum still stood. The tension in the Amato home must have been unbearable. The breaking point came on Thursday, January 24, 2019. Grant was home, still cut off from Silvie by his family's rules. Arguments reportedly ensued. What happened next, according to prosecutors, was a calculated execution-style annihilation of his family. Cody Amato, 31, his brother, was found first by investigators, dead at his nursing station in the kitchen, shot multiple times, including once behind the ear. Chad Amato, 59, their father, was found slumped over his desk in his home office, shot twice, once in the back of the head. Margaret Amato, 61, their mother, was found in her home office, also at her desk, killed by a single gunshot to the head. Investigators believe they were killed systematically, one by one, over several hours, between the evening of January 24th and the early morning of January 25th. Grant Amato then allegedly staged the scene to appear as if his brother Cody might have been responsible for a murder-suicide before fleeing. The gruesome discovery was made later on January 25th by the surviving brother, Jason Amato, who had been unable to reach his family. He entered the home to find a scene of unimaginable horror and immediately called 911. The mask of suburban peace was utterly demolished.
Me and my brother kind of started doing that back 5 years ago, I'd say. He kind of got me into it.
What is it? I'm sorry.
Sorry.
I don't know what it is.
I mean...
I thought you said MMA, and I'm like, okay, and then when you start explaining it,
I guess
now.
it's animated, it's like cartoons, I guess you could say, but it's Japanese cartoons, I guess is the best way to put it. So, it's not as, it's like the stories and whatnot and the way that the shows progress, it's not as childish as cartoons as you would think, like Powerpuff Girls and SpongeBob SquarePants and all that stuff. It's not like that.
So it's adult-based.
Grant Amato was quickly identified as the prime suspect and arrested. His trial in July 2019 laid bare the depths of his obsession and the prosecution's theory of his motive. The prosecution's case. They argued Grant Amato murdered his family because they were the only obstacles standing between him and his all-consuming fantasy relationship with Silvie. The ultimatum, the cutting off of funds, their disapproval. He allegedly eliminated them to be free to pursue this online mirage and potentially access what remained of family assets. The defense's argument. Grant's defense team argued he was innocent, suggesting Cody, who reportedly suffered from depression, could have committed a murder-suicide, or that an unknown intruder was responsible. They pointed to a lack of Grant's DNA on the trigger of the murder weapon, though his DNA was found on the gun elsewhere. The circumstantial evidence, however, was compelling. His history of theft, the clear motive tied to Silvie, his inconsistent statements, and his actions after the murders. On July 31, 2019, a Seminole County jury found Grant Amato guilty of 3 counts of first-degree premeditated murder. During the penalty phase, the jury did not unanimously recommend the death penalty. In August 2019, Grant Amato was sentenced to life in prison without the possibility of parole. His surviving brother Jason gave a powerful victim impact statement describing Grant as a monster who deserves to be forgotten. Grant Amato appealed his conviction. In December 2022, the Florida Supreme Court denied his appeal and upheld his conviction and life sentence, bringing a legal finality to this tragic chapter, though the pain for the surviving family endures.
Okay, so you had one of his credit cards.
Yeah.
And what were you buying with it?
Well, what I was doing is, over the past 4 months or something like that, I've been talking to this woman online.
Who's she?
She's, as embarrassing as it is, she's a cam model.
A what?
A cam model.
Sorry.
Do you guys know that?
Nope.
A cam model is like it's like a virtual girlfriend, I guess you could say.
Okay.
Like that type of situation.
Mm-hmm.
So a lot of the money went to her.
Okay, where's she at?
She lives in Bulgaria.
Where?
Bulgaria.
Where's that?
Over in Europe. Europe. It's like
Okay.
outside of Germany.
Okay.
Something like that.
You ever been there?
No.
Okay.
It wasn't that serious.
So
Okay.
what would you give her money for?
Just for like the time online with her.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So it was just like that type of thing.
And what did she charge? By the minute, by the hour?
Minutes.
Okay.
Yeah.
And how much is it per minute?
Oh God, I think it was like 90 tokens a minute, and it's like the conversion rate for all of that is $600 for like 5,000 or something tokens or something like that. So, and then it was 4 hours a night. So I mean that's basically just where all like the costs went to, was you pay real money for the tokens, then you use the company's digital currency for that.
So you do that, and when did you meet her?
I met her beginning of July. Yeah, at the very beginning.
The Grant Amato case is a horrifying look behind multiple masks. The mask of online fantasy. This case is a terrifying cautionary tale about the seductive power of online relationships, especially when they become all-consuming obsessions. Grant Amato valued his fabricated connection with Silvie, a persona he likely idealized, over his real family, his career, and ultimately, their very lives. The mask of a loving online partner concealed for him a reality he preferred to his own. Grant Amato's mask of normalcy and entitlement. He successfully hid his massive financial theft and deep obsession from his family for a significant time. When confronted, his actions suggest an extreme sense of entitlement to the fantasy life he had built with stolen money, and a chilling willingness to eliminate anyone who threatened it. Familicide. The ultimate betrayal. The act of killing one's entire present family is one of the most disturbing crimes. What psychological factors, narcissism, inability to cope with failure or consequences, extreme rage, contribute to such an ultimate betrayal of familial bonds? Grant's case forces us to confront these dark questions. The digital unmasking. Ironically, the digital world that fueled Grant's obsession also provided much of the evidence to unmask his crimes: financial records, online communications, and the trail of his desperate attempts to maintain his connection with Silvie. Grant Amato traded his family's lives and his own freedom for an online fantasy, a relationship with a woman he'd never met, built on stolen money and profound deception. The masks he wore, of a son, a brother, a nurse, ultimately concealed a man capable of annihilating his entire family to protect a dream that existed only on a screen. His conviction and life sentence, upheld by Florida's highest court, offer legal finality, but little comfort for the immense loss suffered by Jason Amato and all who knew and loved Margaret, Chad, and Cody. The Amato family massacre is a tragic monument to the destructive power of unchecked online obsession, entitlement, and the devastating consequences when the lines between fantasy and reality are not just blurred, but completely obliterated by a mask of self-deception. We remember the Amato family. What does this case tell us about the dangers of online obsessions and the masks people wear in their digital lives? Share your thoughts respectfully in the comments. If you delve into stories that explore the hidden truths behind shocking crimes, please like this video, subscribe to Behind, mask and ensure your notifications are on.